From getting a first-row ticket into the iconic royal pairing to diving deep into the king's mental health, all the Bridgerton fans are in for a treat because their favorite steamy Netflix show is getting its very own spin-off. Now, although the primary focus of the parent show has been the Bridgerton siblings and their love lives, Golda Rosheuvel's portrayal of Queen Charlotte has been a favorite among viewers, and the producers have noticed. So, Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, is all set to debut in May 2023, and that's right around the corner. In the world of Bridgerton, the kind yet astute Queen Charlotte directly oversees the relationships and unions of the nobles. That means the spin-off will focus on her youth and personal relationships, whilst exploring her turbulent love story with King George III. Ever since Netflix announced the show and released a trailer, theories and possible plot lines have been pouring in, so I'm here to dissect it all with you guys. Bridgerton became the sensation that it is due to its scandalous stories and love cliches, so I'm guessing Netflix is going to stick to its tried and tested little tactic here, allowing the arranged marriage and enemies to lovers tropes thrive, even in Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story. A Reddit user, rich_profession6606, had an interesting theory though. According to him, since King George III and Queen Charlotte's union was intended to unite two territories, it's going to be the kind of situation where marriage comes first and love just follows suit. King George III historically chooses Charlotte as his wife for some specific reasons. She was a little duchy in Germany and wouldn't be interested in politics or power struggles. 6 hours after their first meeting, they got married. Now that's something for the history books, isn't it? All that may be portrayed with the finest of silks and the most elaborate of gowns, but at the end of the day, it does leave a sad aftertaste. Does that mean the Queen Charlotte spinoff will be more tragic than anything else? Well, it is possible. Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, might not have the joyful conclusion that romance books, films, and productions typically do. In Season 2 of Bridgerton, viewers saw George battling to control his mental health. As many history junkies are aware, George passed away from pneumonia when his mental health deteriorated significantly. Because of this alone, Queen Charlotte might not have a happy ending, a tragedy that in a way goes against the core principles of the romance subgenre, and fans have picked up on that as well. One of the comments read that they should have released the spin-off before Season 2, because now no one can readily appreciate the romance as they already know how the tale turns out, and it's not exactly a picture-perfect ending. The one law of romantic literature is that there must always be a happy ever after. QC defies that very law. Even if George is a devoted spouse and a well-liked monarch, the story will not have a happy ending. Still, it would be interesting to see how the writers tackle this little conundrum. But let's branch away from the two. It seems the history of Lady Danbury will play a major role as well. It's no secret that there's a close bond between Lady Danbury and the Queen. She served as Queen Charlotte's confidant, and at times, a friend, though fans felt that Charlotte only trusted Lady Danbury when it was necessary. So, Redditors believe that the next spin-off would focus heavily on Lady Danbury's origin story. And wouldn't that be an exciting tale to explore? Lady Danbury also plays a significant role in the books. The mysterious confidant's past will lend a great deal of mystery to Queen Charlotte because viewers know so little about her. So, certain fans are looking forward to her backstory more than Queen Charlotte's even.
Lady Eaton of Lord Horn.
But perhaps we shouldn't get too attached to the show. It is going to be a limited series. Yep, much to the disappointment of Bridgerton fans who are thrilled to see a spin-off of their favorite show. The spin-off is a one-off, and perhaps a pretty extensive marketing tactic. Redditors speculate that this series may be a mini-series to maintain the attention on the main show, because Netflix has only released 8 episodes. Lucy Loves Apples shared that they're cashing in on the popularity by giving viewers a treat. Lady Danbury, Queen Charlotte, and Lady Violet were particularly well-liked Bridgerton characters. Their popularity may have been a strategy used by the showrunners to appease fans and maintain the Bridgerton fever. Now, that may be true, but I'm honestly okay with that. A treat is a treat. Plus, we'll get to find out more about King George III's first love. A lover spat is very common on Netflix, and Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, may have one more. In reality, before he wed Charlotte, George III was extremely smitten with Lady Sarah Lennox and came dangerously close to popping the question. But since his court forbade it, he couldn't propose marriage to her. And then later, when he did get married, his bride requested her to be a bridesmaid. That is one awkward ceremony.
I'm glad you decided to come. I could not miss out on one last evening with you before I go.
But knowing that, SoulSilver_Goldheart speculated he was in love with her when he married Charlotte. So the question is how the network wants to play with that situation, because it seems right up its alley. Fans and history enthusiasts would be thrilled if this small piece of information made it into the show. And the plotline this little tidbit allows us to explore is chef's kiss. Speaking of being hot, heavy, and awkward, it's guaranteed that the spinoff will be just as steamy as Bridgerton. It goes without saying that Bridgerton's main draw is its feisty moments. It sets the show apart from other stuffy, formal historical plays. So, Redditors believe Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, will have some spiciness between its main protagonists too, and maybe even in subsidiary love stories because it is a spinoff. Besides, it would be strange not to feature some excitement. But let's face it, the audience expects it now, and they must not be denied. Sure enough, the writers of the series and the stars have indicated that the spinoff would feature romance of all types, and there may be another royal appearance. Bridgerton is set in the Regency period, when King George III was deemed unfit to reign. That meant that Prince Regent, Queen Charlotte's son, served as the acting king. Although the prince hasn't been spotted in Bridgerton yet, viewers believe he could show up in the Queen Charlotte spinoff. I mean, you can't make an entire show on the Queen and forget about her son, right? But then again, Prince Regent has been known to cause problems for the two, so that feature would certainly be an interesting insight into their lives. After multiple mentions of the man, he might just be unveiled, but the main focus has to be to protect King George III's mental health. Even though he was affected by mental illness a bit later in life than most people, King George III's narrative explored how he managed it. Although Redditors are skeptical of how it'll be handled, viewers believe that his mental health will play a significant role in Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story, since it will add to the drama. Still, some Redditors worry that mental health themes would be lost in translation, but if handled properly, they can offer valuable and good representation to the production. His mental illness in no way should be romanticized. This is the main concern among viewers, and to me, that's pretty valid. The representation must come from a knowledgeable and considerate position that adds to the show and does not take away from it. But what are your theories on the spinoff? Let me know down below.
And if there is one thing you should know by now, it is that this author cannot keep quiet for long.
And that's a wrap on Queen Charlotte and the many theories that have come with it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.